Our live. Hello. Hi. It is I, your friend. One man. I am here. Where are you? So one man went to Mo. Apologies for the extremely late session. I have no anticipation that that many people will be joining me because I know, of course, a lot of you would have attempted to join the streaming and you would have noticed that the time kept on being pushed back. So the time was pushed back really for reasons really that were unavoidable. So the time pushed back, almost pushed into the next day. But here we are still. The session takes place. So if you're here, then you're welcome. I'm not going to push too hard for anyone to be here because, as I said, this is just something that I've staggered and I've staggered almost to the next day. But here we are. One man went to mow that or your guy making noise on the internet again. That has not changed. Your company is just what is required now for that noise to make sense. Otherwise, I'll be shouting to myself, and that, of course, is the first sign of madness. One man went to mow, the eagle has landed.
Only water. Water. Only water. Where they see ma. Water, 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 water.
Only water. Where they see ma.
Hapa o naido.
Hapa o naido.
Hapa you don't come o. Hapa o naido. Oro kẹ̀kẹ́ ẹlẹ́mù yé o. Ilé sọ́díyà kẹ̀kẹ́ ẹlẹ́mù rẹ o. Bobby master kẹ̀kẹ́ ẹlẹ́mù rẹ o. Chief Wáìlà tí kẹ̀kẹ́ ẹlẹ́mù rẹ o. Eruku lẹ̀lẹ̀ ẹlẹ́mù dé. Eruku lẹ̀lẹ̀ ẹgbẹ́ ẹlẹ́mù dòdò jàre o. Eruku lẹ̀lẹ̀ Ghana ti dé ẹgbẹ́ bọ́dì o. Ọmọ ẹlẹ́yẹ ẹ̀yẹ o ó dilé o. Odúyẹ̀lá ẹ̀yẹ o ó dilé o. Petrosoname ẹ̀yẹ o ó dilé o. Petrosodunke ẹ̀yẹ rẹ̀ ó dilé o. Ẹlẹ́kọ̀ ọ̀run mú ìní o. Àkùkọ ọ̀run mẹ́kọ̀. Ikú kò ní rí wa gbéṣe o.
And there we are, Iku Koniriwa Gbese by the Kegites. So there we are, and here we are. And apologies, as I said, for the late starting session, but the session takes place nevertheless. So that contractual obligation fulfilled, my contract to you to hold the session today. However, belatedly, I have fulfilled my part of the bargain. So you fulfill your part of the bargain by joining me. Click on the hyperlink to come join live on screen if you want to discuss the talking points that I'm about to present. If you are new here, then welcome. It is an open mic. It is an open mic session. So the hyperlink that you see on your screen, where it says "click here to come join me live on screen," the hyperlink attached to that message. If you click on it, then you come live on screen. As you're seeing me now, you will be on the screen equally with me debating the points of discussion. So that is how it works. Introduce yourself if you are new to the platform. So let's get to know each other. If you're a recording viewer, then please make sure you're subscribed. And if you want to participate, as I said, click on that hyperlink. So, pardon me. So to the talking points, so we're speculating with regards to that Biafra space. The voice of Nnamdi Kanu, of course, now silenced, but it looks as though a new voice is emerging into that space, and we're seeming to hear from him with a fear and increasing regularity. So he speaks to that space in much the same tonality that Nnamdi Kanu speaks to that space. So I am asking the question: has Nnamdi Kanu's voice essentially been replaced by Simon Ekpa's voice as the lead voice of the IPOB space? So we explore that the change of guard, or is there a change of guard in the IPOB? Not so much the IPOB, because the IPOB, of course, Nnamdi Kanu's brainchild, his own pet project, his own organization, but essentially the Biafra space. Is there a new champion voice now emerging in that space to occupy that space that Nnamdi Kanu hitherto occupied? So we explore that. First headline: wave. Pardon me. Let me take another sip of coffee. Wave of Biafra will continue until Nigeria is completely dissolved. Simon Ekpa are speaking those words. So if I had not said Simon Ekpa, you would of course think that those were Nnamdi Kanu's words, because to the tonality and even the words and the syntax, everything Nnamdi Kanu. But then of course the utterance is attributed to Simon Ekpa. Wave of Biafra will continue until Nigeria is completely dissolved, a headline attributed to Simon Ekpa. So from Simon Ekpa, we go to the Attorney General of the Federation, Abubakar Malami, and his mischievous and wayward and treacherous way. The Machiavellian ways of Abubakar Malami busted how Nigeria's Attorney General Malami covered up identities, prosecution of terror funders. So a lot of you will recall, of course, a few months ago when they came out trumpeting that they had identified the people that are sponsor Boko Haram, their financiers, and then of course we've heard radio silence ever since. So to that space, this article speaks, busted how Nigeria's Attorney General Malami covered up identities, prosecution of terror funders. So we look into that as well. And we look into now this senior man speaking to something now that goes to the heart of the Nigerian being. So this is the one thing that agitates Nigerians the most, and this is what this senior man speaks to. Nigerians are tired of excuses. Adegboruwa slams Buhari regime over epileptic power supply. So the one thing above all else that people would like to see solved as a problem within the Nigerian space is the supply of electricity. We absolutely categorically need electricity within that country, and we are not asking Buhari or anybody to go and invent electricity and then provide it for Nigerians. We're just asking them to commission and spend the expense of electrifying the country. So it is not new science. It is nothing mysterious or dark or in the distance. It's just a matter of buying power plants and then plugging them into the Nigerian system. So this surely should not be beyond the will or the wit of the Nigerian space. So we've been wallowing in darkness for far too long within that country. Endless billions of dollars attributed to that sector, the price, of course, of our darkness. So to that space, this senior person speaks. Nigerians are tired of excuses. Adegboruwa slams Buhari regime over epileptic power supply. So to those spaces we'll be going just as soon as I take a moment to catch my breath. So just have a few more seconds of the care guides.
ọmọ ẹlẹ́yẹ ẹ̀yẹ ẹ̀yẹ o ó dilé o olùyẹ̀lá ẹ̀yẹ o ó dilé o petrosonana ẹ̀yẹ o ó dilé o petrosodúnkẹ́ ẹ̀yẹ rẹ̀ ó dilé o ẹlẹ́kọ̀ ọ̀run mú ìní o. àkùkọ ọ̀run mẹ́kọ̀. ikú kò ní rí wà gbèsè o.
And there we are. Iku Koni Riwagbeshe by the Kegites. So Iku Koni Riwagbeshe, as guys, I bring you this. Wave of Biafra will continue until Nigeria is completely dissolved. Headline attributed to now the imagined voice now that is occupying the Biafran space, Simon Ekpa. Simon Ekpa, one of the disciples of the embattled leader of the proscribed indigenous people of Biafra, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, has declared that agitation for the Biafra nation will continue until it is actualized. Ekpa made the remark on Tuesday via a post on his official Facebook page. According to him, the agitation will continue to gain attention from the international community until Nigeria is completely dissolved. He wrote, "The wave of Biafra will continue to blow across the globe until Biafra is restored and Nigeria completely dissolved. I am Simon Ekpa, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's disciple on Biafra restoration." Ekpa, who is a dual citizen of both Nigeria and Finland, was recently appointed to head broadcast on Radio Biafra pending the release of his master, Kanu, who is currently in the custody of the Department of State Services, DSS. Barely a month after he took over the functions, some officials of the IPOB announced that he will be suspended for allegedly failing to comply with some set rules. So Simon Ekpa continues to recall within that space, and the time is now that that question should be asked because, of course, that Nnamdi Kanu will be otherwise occupied for the foreseeable. We can just surrender ourselves to that. So we do not expect Nnamdi Kanu to be out in weeks or months. We're expecting him to be held in custody for years. And this guy now has been theming his voice into that space, speaking in the tonality of a Nnamdi Kanu, speaking a language of subservience, claiming that he is a disciple of Nnamdi Kanu, but just essentially, I'm just trying to get the wordings right so I don't cause offense. But essentially, this guy is associating his personality and his voice to that space and is growing himself within that space and is growing within that space that Nnamdi Kanu occupied. So this is essentially somebody speaking to Nnamdi Kanu's throne. Essentially, he is speaking a language of contrition, but within that contrition is an ambition. So is this the new champion of the Biafra space? Is the question. So answers to that to come are hopefully if there are people to engage in the comment section. To the next headline, how Nigeria's Attorney General Malami covered up identities, prosecution of our terror funders. 3 months after the Nigerian government promised to arraign about 400 alleged Boko Haram sponsors and financiers of the deadly sect, the government appears to have mellowed down on the prosecution. Correspondents learned that the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Abubakar Malami, is covering up the identities of the sponsors, many of them being from a region of the country, while there is also a plot to scuttle their prosecution. 3 months and no prosecution has been heard about the 400 sponsors and funders of Boko Haram and bandits. It is an ongoing cover up by Malami, a top source stated. Correspondent had in April reported that Malami was unhappy and angry about the recent arrest of the persons allegedly funding Boko Haram, including operators of some bureau de change who facilitated the transfer of money to the terrorists. A top source in government had told correspondents how Malami was opposed to the raid and subsequently at loggerhead with the task force for carrying it out. The series of arrests were made in Kano, Borno, Abuja, Lagos, Sokoto, Adamawa, Kaduna, and Zamfara, according to a newspaper report. It was also reported that traders at the foreign exchange open market in Wapa, Faje local government area were picked up on March the 9th, 15th, and 16th. Correspondents had revealed that apart from Malami opposing the raid, he also opposed to having the names of those arrested released to the public. Malami was opposed to the raid and now he's opposed to having the names of those arrested revealed. So he is fighting the task force that carried out the raid. He is saying it is legal. You see, some of those arrested were people he had freed through his special fiat court that sat in Niger State and parts of Abuja. Those guys are wealthy and he wants to collect money from them and let them off, the source had told correspondents. It has been reported that 19 bureau de change owned by persons with direct connection with Boko Haram were uncovered, whilst over 300 billion naira was found to have been pumped into the funding of terrorism in the country. So there is a huge amount of money involved, transferred through illicit means. Those arrested are reportedly being kept in military and Department of State Services facilities in Abuja and other places. But despite Malami's resistance to having their names revealed to the public, the identities of some of the Bureau de Change operators arrested for facilitating the transfer of money to the terrorists have been revealed. Some of them were traders at the foreign exchange open market in Wapa, Faje local government area of Kano State, and identified as Baba Hussein, Abubakar Yellow, otherwise known as Fani, Yusuf Ali Yusuf, otherwise known as Babangida, Ibrahim Shani, Awal Faji, and Mohammed Lawan Sani, a gold dealer. Despite being the nation that has suffered the heaviest casualties through Boko Haram atrocities for many years, with over 30,000 people killed and millions of other displaced, Nigeria has shown weakness in dealing decisively with the terrorists and blocking their source of fundings. Correspondents had also, in the first week of May, reported that the government was set to arraign the 400 alleged uh, Boko Haram sponsors and financiers. The media aide to the Minister of Justice, Dr. Umar Gwandu, has said that the prosecution of the suspect will commence as quickly as possible. Gwandu hinted that charges would soon be preferred against the suspects, but he declined further to comment when asked for an update on the investigation. Meanwhile, 3 months after, nothing had been heard about the supposed prosecution. Correspondents had also today reported that human rights lawyer Femi Falana SAN wrote to the AGF Malami requesting for information on the prosecution of the over 400 suspects. In the letter titled Request for Information on Prosecution of Arrested 400 Sponsors of Terrorism in Nigeria, Falana had raised some concerns about their prosecution and asked Malami to respond within 7 days pursuant to the Freedom of Information Act. The letter dated August the 3rd had read, on May the 4th, it was widely reported in the print and electronic media that the federal government had concluded arrangements to prosecute about 400 alleged sponsors and financiers of terrorism in Nigeria. In the said publication, your office assured the nation that the suspects will be arraigned after the industrial action recently embarked upon by the Judicial Staff Union of Nigeria had abated. In view of the terrorist attacks being unleashed on law abiding citizens by the groups of insurgents in several parts of the country, we strongly let me take that again. In view of the terrorist attacks being unleashed on law abiding citizens by the groups of insurgents in several parts of the country. We strongly commend the move by the federal government to prosecute the suspects who were reported to have been arrested in a nationwide operation a few months ago. We, however, request that our law firm be furnished with information with respect to when the criminal charges were filed against the suspect, since the strike by the JUSUN has been called off. Kindly ensure that we are furnished with the requested information within 7 days of receipt of this letter in accordance with the provisions of Freedom of Information Act. So there we are. Whether they were lying that they had arrested anybody or Abubakar Malami had collected money, as he often collects money from people and lets them go, either way, Femi Falana on the case. So Adegboruwa on another case, Adegboruwa slams Buhari regime over epileptic power supply. Human rights lawyer Ebun Olu Adegboruwa, SAN, has stated that Nigerians are tired of excuses from the Muhammadu Buhari-led government and want value for their votes. Adegboruwa added that Nigerians are entitled to stable and efficient power supply from the government, and the Buhari administration must crack this seemingly hard nut urgently. The lawyer, in a release titled Government in Power Without Power, obtained by correspondence, noted that if Nigeria was supplying power to Niger Republic, then there should be no excuses for failure at home. He said the All Progressive Congress will generate, transmit, and distribute current 5,000 to 6,000 megawatts to at least 20,000 megawatt of electricity within 4 years and increase to 50,000 megawatt with a view to achieving 24/7 uninterrupted power supply within 10 years, whilst simultaneously ensuring development of sustainable and renewable energy. This was from the manifesto of the APC submitted to the people of Nigeria in the wake of the 2015 general election. Power generation is the main issue in regards to the socio-economic development of any nation. In Nigeria, however, successive governments have deployed it for political gains, knowing the importance that Nigerians attach to it. For instance, I have never experienced electricity supply in my hometown since I was born, as we are not connected to the national grid at all. Indeed, the entire Ondo South Senatorial District was disconnected from the grid about 12 years ago, even though attempts are underway to reconnect. Several towns and villages are like my hometown, locked out of any form of development at all. Yet, we are classified as oil producing. Last week, the national grid collapsed for the umpteenth time. I placed an order for the replacement of a generator and got an invoice of about 5 million naira just for a 30 kVA version. To change the inverter batteries would also cost a fortune. This is the sordid tale of most Nigerians. The impression that our leaders in power have conveyed to us is that it is practically impossible to have stable and permanent power supply, that we don't have the resources to build the needed energy plants that will meet the needs of all Nigerians, that we must accept generators as second nature if we must function and survive as a people. Churches, mosques, banks, schools, small businesses, factories, government ministries and departments, police stations, the courts, and even the power holding company of Nigeria itself all depend on generators. Adegboruwa noted that the average experience of those depending upon public power supply is that of total frustration, resulting from absence of any supply at all, irregular supply, low voltage, high voltage, low load shedding, constant blackouts, extortion by members of staff of the companies involved, and naked corruption. He added, it was this terrible scenario that the APC promised to change when it was canvassing for votes in 2015. But now, 6 years in office, all we get is one story after another, leading to the usual blame game of failures of past regimes. From the manifesto of the APC, the federal government was to generate at least 5,000 megawatts of electricity yearly, with equal capacity to transmit and distribute, whilst commissioning traffic lights in Lekki Phase 1 in Lagos on November the 12th, 2014. Babatunde Fashola SAN, as governor of Lagos State then, had asserted that any serious government will fix the power problem in 6 months. In clearly a matter of faith, Fashola was subsequently appointed minister in charge of power. After the 2015 elections, he could not fix it for 4 years. He had power but could not deliver power. From all the foregoing, therefore, I have reason now to believe that our leaders use epileptic power supply as an instrument of oppression to frustrate Nigerians, to halt their development initiatives, to collapse their industries and investments, to extent that they would have no other alternative than to surrender to the programs and policies of the ruling government. All that the average Nigerian wants is stable and efficient power supply. If Nigeria is supplying power to Niger Republic, then there can be no excuse whatsoever for failure at home, other than the fact that it may be a conspiracy against the masses of our people. The Buhari administration must crack this seemingly hard nut urgently. The campaign now for all Nigerians should be that of power for power. So the campaign now for all Nigerians should be that of power for power. If you cannot provide power, i.e., electricity, to better our lives and develop ourselves, then you are not entitled to power, i.e., governance, to better your pockets. It is as simple as that. We have shown enough patience waiting for the promises of 2015. We are now tired of excuses and want value for our vote. So it goes on and on. It's a long-winded one. I might well abandon it there because there's still a good 8-9 paragraph of this guy. Just it says SAN, you see, and with people like that, they like the sound of their own voice and they just like to uh carry on with this hyperboles and whatnot. Okay, so that gives you a good feel of what is being said. So that is essentially what he is saying. Let me give you this bonus story because this now a development that might well intrigue some of you. So this one now, not advertised, but nevertheless here it is. Hausas are waking up, Fulanis are jittery. So Hausas are waking up, Fulanis are jittery. So we've had like hints in that direction are on this platform already that there's an awakening or a reawakening amongst the Hausas in the north, and it looks as though this piece is now speaking to that space. Hausas are waking up, Fulanis are jittery, and Yorubas are being blamed for sensitizing the Hausas about their history. Injustice of voting but not being voted for. The Hausa palliative cry on recovering their lost kingdom by Colonel Dauda Garo, Hausa land, history and people yearning for freedom. Nigerians uh, Nigerians 50 years old and above who attended primary school in any part of what was called northern Nigeria must have been taught during history lessons about the seven Hausa states of Biram, Kano, Katsina Daura, Gobir, Rano, and Zaria, as well as the seven Banza Bakwi kingdoms of Zamfara, Kebbi, Yuari, Gwari, Nupe, Ajukun, and Yoruba. So I'm not quite sure how Yoruba got into that there. These kingdoms were viable in virtually every aspect of human endeavor at that time. I should draw the reader's attention to the meaning of the word Hausa, to the meaning of the Hausa word Banza. Banza is a derogatory word which means worthless or anything that is lower quality, which clearly showed a marked distinction between the Hausa Bakwi and the Banza Bakwi kingdoms. There may have been the pastoral or nomadic Fulani as part of the population in these kingdoms, but not much, if anything, was recorded in that respect. The Fulani got a mention when the migrants from the general area of Futa Jelon, foothills, and Senegambia regions in West Africa arrived in Gabon not long before 1800. So it goes on to trace the history. Essentially, the awakening of the Hausas is what that bit speaks to. I shall pass this especially on to engineer, who I know has a particular interest in that space. As I welcome UK, hoping that he's still with us. Uh, engineer, good to see you. Baba Kure, good to see you. And Ajanle Koko, always a pleasure. So, engineer, let me just send you this article. It speaks to that space where you were talking about the reawakening that is going on amongst the Hausas in the north. So it looks as though now that reawakening is now something that people are starting to identify. So I'll send you that. So speak briefly on the reawakening of the Hausas now to reclaim their lost glory as we then look to talk on the other talking points. So good to see you, engineer.
Yeah, good to see you. Good evening, everyone.
Yeah, good evening.
Yeah, to be honest, when it comes to the Northerners, like I said so many times, they are hoping on the Yorubas and the Igbos. The reason why I'm saying that because the way things are going in that country, to be honest, look, these people they have the Boko Harams, the evil people in between them. They live in the same environment, and the way things are going on, they are so scared of coming out to voice it out, because if you voice it out, I believe within 12 to 24 hours you'll be killed. So the only thing that is going now that these people are hoping, they are really hoping from the Yorubas and the Middle Belt and the Igbos, and those are the things that these people are passing through. When you come to things of reality, they are willing to come out and do things. If today Nigeria, they found a solution that these people have been fixed, I'm telling you, I keep saying this, the Northerners will be the first to point at all the evil Fulanis in that region, and they can't hesitate to kick them out of that state. And this is what is happening in Nigeria. They are hoping, they are praying so that the Yorubas and the Igbos and the Middle Belt will make that move. Those are the things.
Actually, engineer, mute yourself. Let me just give you the full flavor of this because I think this may well be important. I was going to just buckle at it, but let me not buckle. So mute yourself. Let me just. It says, these kingdoms were viable in virtually every aspect of human endeavor at the time. I should draw the reader's attention to the meaning of the Hausa word banza. Banza is a derogatory word which means worthless or anything that is of lower quality, which clearly showed a marked distinction between the Hausa Bakwia and the Banza Bakwia kingdoms. There may have been the pastoral or nomadic Fulani as part of the population in these kingdoms, but not much, if anything, was recorded In this respect, the Fulani got a mention when migrants from the general area of Fouta-Gelon foothills and the Senegambia region in West Africa arrived in Gibor not long before 1800. Usman Danfodio, who marauded as a Usman Danfodio, who masqueraded as an Islamic teacher, had issues with the leadership in Gobert. The reason he adduced being that a corrupt form of Islam was being practiced, and he raised a band of followers that succeeded in violently overthrowing the leadership in Gibor under the guise of purifying Islam. Instead of replacing the old leadership with indigenes of Gibor, he appointed his own Fulanis as the new leader and proceeded from there to wage what was erroneously called a jihad or a holy war. Wherever he put under, he appointed either his son or trusted Fulani as emir, thus silencing the Hausas who held power previously. He and his followers even conceived the dream of ditching the Quran in the Atlantic Ocean, meaning that their mission was to Islamize all the ethnic groups along their path up to the Atlantic Ocean. Unluckily for them, they came face to face with the realities of gunpower along the general lines of Egbede village, south of Auchi, and the Kuruku range of hills running westwards. From there, the jihadists advanced southwards were from there, the jihadists advance southward was blunted as they were forced to withdraw back. In other words, they beat a retreat. As time went on, an advanced form of the Stockholm Syndrome may have had its place as the indigenous Hausas began to see Fulani occupiers and usurpers of their lands as friends and were content with the crumbs that fell from the Fulani's dinner tables. When Karl Marx described religion as the opium of the masses, we have to believe within the context of this short essay that it meant much more than the intoxicating effect of the drugs. He may also have been referring to the blinding and numbing properties too. Da, 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 da. Let me skim through. Let me come to this paragraph. In all of this, the Hausa people must hold themselves to blame for having collapsed like a pack of cards in many instances without a single shot being fired. Had they resisted the political coup against their leadership, the story could have been different today. But like sheep led to slaughter, they were deceived and blindfolded into the make believe that Danfodio did come to purify and clean up Islam. On how wrong they were and still are. The consequences that are, oh, how wrong they were and still are. The consequences of that terrible blunder over 2 centuries ago is what Nigeria as a nation is still struggling to deal with. To acquire legitimacy, the Fulani came up with the coinage Hausa Fulani again to further blindfold the Hausa population. Everything that was good at that time went to the Fulanis, causing the Hausas to develop a sense of inferiority complex. Hausa women were taken and are still being taken by force into marriage by invaders as the emirate system took root. When eventually the British colonialists came around, they found it very convenient not to undo the emirate system as it served their mercantilist interest. They gave the Fulanis the opportunity to further cement and concretize their political as well as social and economic agenda over the Hausas. The Hausas, their culture, history, and tradition began to recede into irrelevance as the invading Fulanis easily foisted their own values, tradition, and culture over all that remained of the Hausa kingdoms. It must be noted, though, that not all of the Hausa-speaking population accepted Islam. Many rejected the faith, preferring to continue with their traditional religion and culture. Those who rejected Islam were derogatorily called Maguzawa for the simple reason that they rejected Islam. These original Hausa speaking people still occupy large swathes of land in many states in the north, not limited to the old and now extinct Hausa kingdom. As punishment for rejecting Islam, the Hausas over the ages have been subjected to wholesale neglect and deprivation. Government policies and projects like schools, hospitals, justice, and roads have been denied them. To date, the hybrid Hausa, to date, the hybrid Fulani are still treating the Hausas as if they were bounties of war. Young Hausa women are serially kidnapped and forced into marriage against their will. They have no access to justice as any protection with regards to forced marriages and land seizure are usually summarily dismissed in the Alkali court of injustice. So there you have it, the travails of the Hausas, a conquered people. So a conquered people essentially engineer. It's just it's heartbreaking stuff. It looks as
You,
though the
you see,
Hausas they didn't even put up a resistance, is really what we're
the,
hearing.
the thing is, I could remember 1992, 93. If you look, I attended police children's school, police primary school in Maiduguri. Maiduguri is one of the most cheapest states so far in Nigeria. When you come in terms of food stuff, the amount of food in that state is completely very, very cheap. So what really happened? You see that language they said banza. Banza is like a definition of useless.
Mm,
Yeah, that's useless. That's banza is completely useless. So you
mm,
see, when we were kids, those Fulanis they came into that state because then Fulani once they came in, they are selling fura de nono. That's what they do, and they have that arrow. Arrow is part of their weapon.
mm.
They've never, none of them is having anything like AK-47 that the way we're seeing these days. So you see, things like this start coming in, and most of the Northerners, like I said, the real Hausas, the genuine Hausas in the north, the Muslims themselves, they are honest people. But once the bad Fulani they came into that region, they start polluting
Do
things.
the Hausas have fight in them? It doesn't sound as though they have fight in them. Do
No,
they
no, no,
have
no, no, no,
fight?
no. See,
They don't have fight in them.
this is something is a historical something that people need to start understanding where the Hausas they belongs to, because if you look at it, the Fulanis once they come in the name of Islam, because Islam is there before the Fulani came in, but when Fulani they came into that region, they start twisting Islam, they start making things hard for the even Hausa people themselves. They're making things becoming worse.
But
You
the
see,
Hausas have the numbers. They
yeah,
own the land.
they're on
So
the
so
land, but
that is why I'm asking: do they have fight in them? The Hausas, do they
no,
have fight?
Hausa they don't have fight in them.
They don't have
Before
fight
the
in them.
before the Fulanis corrupt them. You
Yeah,
understand?
yeah. Can I say something, engineer?
Go
Yeah.
on.
Who are the people that they call the Buzu? Because I remember when we were in Sokoto, there's a people that they
Thank
call
you.
Buzu.
Thank you. We have Buzu, we have Metasine. Buzu and Metasine, they are the Fulanis. That's the truth. Those people are the real Fulanis that migrate to Nigeria, and they come in the name of that religion. They start polluting that religion, and
Can
this
I
is what.
Yeah, can I interject?
Go on.
Yeah, because I remember when we were very young, some of these politicians started, the Buzu people, they don't like association with other tribes.
They
It's
are
just
always
within
on
them.
black wares.
Yeah. So what started happening is that some of these politicians started kidnapping them, and like those fine girls, and putting them in Kule.
Oh
That's
yeah,
why
if you
they
see, if
started
you
having
see
this hybrid. Yeah,
Buzu girls,
yes.
they are like mommy water. You know what I mean? They are very very pretty, very beautiful. They are like angels. But this is what happens. See, when things start developing, right? When things start getting worse, look, let's keep the picture aside now. Let's face the reality. Look at the way the Boko Harams now they are operating. They can go to the north, they kidnap both the Muslims, the Hausa Muslim and the Christians. What are they doing to them? They're giving them to another people to marry in the name of that religion. You see how they're tarnishing that religion's name. So sometimes if we look at things, the Hausas, I keep saying it, till today, till tomorrow, they are regretting it. But they don't have mouths to come out and speak because the Fulani has dominated everywhere. And this is one of the reasons now you see, if you look at Nigerian the government, all the top position men, the way they are now, most of them are Fulanis. They are not Hausas. Hausas have no say. And this is what is happening in that country. Hausas
Yeah,
don't have mouth to talk
yeah.
nothing.
Can I say something? This Gandola, is he an Hausa man or Fulani? Point of correction.
Whoa. To be honest, I didn't do much research on that man. To be honest, I think maybe Vine Maxwell will know much more about that man.
Yeah. What did he say?
No, he was asking if somebody was a Hausa or Fulani, and I'm asking that question too because just within the Nigerian landscape, prominent Hausa names. Let's make that distinction because I can't make the distinction on who is Hausa or Fulani. So, who is the foremost Hausa man in Nigeria that we know of? Who is the Hausa name? Who is Hausa?
If you look at Mama Vasa is an
Okay, he was
Hausa man.
Hausa. Okay, okay,
Elza Zaki is an Hausa man.
okay.
When you hear names like Danladi,
Mm,
Umar,
mm.
Ibrahim, because they shied before these Fulani people came. Fulani people came with the Sunni version of Islam. But the Hausas, the Gobe, when you hear Gobe, Gobe is the old name for Sokoto. Gobe. Gobe is the old name for Sokoto. So when they came, it was that Sokoto that they brought in. Osman Danfodio came in, with the Sunni religion in the other hand, then business at the other hand, and the sword at the back of their heart. That is how they describe it. Unknown to the Hausa people. So when they came in, they thought that, oh, these people were good people. They were showering them with gifts. And that is exactly what they do today. If you look at those Biafrans, the Igbos that have converted into Islam today, go and see how they converted them. They gave them money. They showered them with all kinds of gifts, carry them to Mecca free of charge, and so on and so forth. They would treat them as if they are most loved people, but they will never lead prayer in the mosque. That is the issue. So before the Fulani people came with the Sunni version of Islam, the Hausas, that is the Gobe people, the Bachama people, they were already having their own Shiite version of Islam.
Yes, Shiite. Yes.
So when this, and that is exactly, if you look
So
at
what you're saying essentially is that the Hausas are predominantly Shiites.
Shiite and Christian, Shiite Christianity.
I have a friend, Maria Habila. She's a YouTuber. She's Hausa. I'm going to bring her one of these days to this platform. Full Christian.
Okay.
But what I find, she lives in Kanu. What I find is that when she goes out in public, she always dresses in hijab. even though she's a Christian. And then
Yeah.
she was explaining that it's not for reasons of denying her religion or anything, that it's just easier that if you go in public and you're not dressed like that, people will look at you funny. Some might even look to confront you. So just for
Look,
ease of
that is the
so
my
a
brother.
Christian wearing
That
hijab.
that is the essence. That is the essence of Sharia. They made Christians in the north the minority. They make them. They ridicule them. They look at them as what they call them arana. If you know what they call arana,
Yeah,
they call them
100%.
What's
yeah,
that?
they
Dirty
call them
people?
arana. They call
What?
them unbelievers. They call them there are so many. They call them arana. They call them unbelievers. They call them unclean people.
Okay,
That's what they call
like
Christians.
pigs, like pigs.
Good. So if you are with them, when you are staying with them, you dress like secular way of dressing. They will look at you as an unclean person, infidel. That's what they call you. They call you infidel. So if you call me an infidel, why will you allow me to use what is on my land as an infidel to develop your place? That is where I see that it is mere hypocrisy.
Yeah,
You see,
can I interject something?
okay.
Can I interject? Yeah,
Go on.
I keep wondering because this our own Muslim in Nigeria compared to Senegal, because I have friends from Senegal, I have friends from Gambia, I have friends from almost all the West Africa. I have friends,
Yeah.
but they keep asking me why is it that our own is so violent? Because their own Christian can marry an a Muslim person, let's say in Senegal. I mean, they do things in common, but our own is always violent.
Let
They
me
always.
tell
I
let me
don't know.
let me tell you the reason why.
We're barbarians in Nigeria. That's the reason.
Let me tell you the reason. You see, the Nigerian version of Islam, that is, let me come to the Sunni and the Shiite. Shiite wants to be superior. And Shiite is, Shiite wants to be superior. The Sunni wants also to be superior. And the Sunni is the system of Islam practiced by, Saudi Arabia. Okay, so and they are always see themselves as the
Shiites are the Iranians. Just to add that.
yes,
Yeah,
that's the Iranian version. You see, that's the
so
Iranian
the
version.
Iranians,
And
the center of the Shiite movement is in Iran.
Iran,
And
yes,
the center, the heartland of the Sunni movement is in Saudi Arabia.
it's in
Over
Saudi
80
Arabia. Now, what happened is this.
over 80% of global Muslims are Sunnis. So the Shiites are just a small sect of So El
Exactly.
Zakzaki is a Shiite. So just to add that, carry on, Vin.
Now, you see, if we begin to talk about how they come, it will take us the whole day. You see, when Muhammad died, Muhammad has, I think, they have about 2 or 3 brothers. So those ones that are supposed to inherit Muhammad were sidelined. There was a coup, and they appointed this other Sunni sect to be them. Whereas it is the Shiite that's supposed to, succeed Muhammad. So that is where the problem started. That is who becomes the successor of Muhammad. That was where the whole thing started. This problem started immediately the death of Muhammad. That is how it is. Then it comes down to what we are seeing today. I want to answer what my brother said. Why is it that the Nigerian Islamic religion is very, very violent? Look at it, why it is violent. Now, Nigeria, it is in Nigeria that we see extremist type of Islamic religion. The fundamentalist, the extremist, it is in Nigeria. And it comes as in the form of extremism in order to capture the rest, just like the way they have succeeded in neutralizing the Gobe people, that is the Hausas. The only territory, the only empire or kingdom they did not conquer is the Kanuri Empire. That is the Bronu, where my brother said he schooled, right? The Kanuri people were the only people, Kanuri Empire, that Osman Danfodio did not capture. And if you look at today, the Boko Haram is not in Sokoto. That is the seat of the caliphate. It's not there. But where are they settling now? Where are they fighting? They are fighting in the Kanuri Empire in order to neutralize them. That's what is going on. So the extremism comes as a result of they want to conquer Nigeria by themselves and impose their own religion. That is what they want to. And for anybody, a Christian, that is why, simply because, the person...
Can I interject 1 minute?
Go ahead.
Did I just hear you that Boko Haram is not in Sokoto?
Yeah, they are not visible. They are not visible in Sokoto like they are in...
I am not aware of any presence in Sokoto. Do you know differently?
Medugri is where they base. That is where they base. The other ones you see in Sokoto are the cells. That is the terrorist cells. That's what you see there.
Hold on, Vin. Do you want to disagree with that? Because that is my impression too. But perhaps to the contrary, Ajanle Koko.
I'm not actually trying to disagree, but we have bandits in Sokoto.
No,
are they not the same? We have plenty of bandits. They kidnap people for ransom. Just like, are they not the same people? What's the difference between all of them? They are all terrorists.
Yeah, I'm coming. You see, the main people, it is defined. Let me just say, it is now that they are trying to blend themselves. It is now that they are trying to blend themselves. When they started this campaign of Boko, book, over there in the north, Boko is book. And if you ask so many of them, they will tell you, say, Niba Turenchi.
Exactly.
Even in the military, they will tell you that a chicken akin soldier ba dogo Turenchi.
Meaning,
but that is in the military, there is nothing like English or certificate.
Wow.
Well,
that's why there are many in military.
This is Buhari now. That is
what I'm telling you.
Exactly.
This is the system. See, my brother, for those of us that have been there with them, we know them. You will see most of them in the military. When you ask them, what is your name? They will tell you, Siniba Turenchi. I say, ya ba Turenchi. Ya baka iya Turenchi ba. They will tell you, they will tell you, a chicken acting soldier ba Turenchi. You understand?
Hold on.
And these people, especially if you want to see the people that are, either partially educated or well educated in other rank, you see them south, old southern Nigeria. But when you go to the other side, none of them will speak English. Even if you ask them, they'll say, Niba Turenchi, me, no English. I think acting soldier about to go to inside the military job. There is no being. Tepia Kawai. Tepia is a acting soldier. The acting soldier Tepia Kawai. He say military job is move on, go ahead, Kawai. That's all.
All right. Thank you, Vin. That's definitely a space that is what I abandoned that article, but I'll save it and present it on another day. It's just too long-winded and I'm too tired because I've had a long day. But let me acknowledge Alexander's super chat. It says, this is Alexander. It says, in high school in the 70s, during my mock exam, I wrote a thesis on Danfodio. My history teacher at Maryland Comprehensive High School was so impressed, I got a standing ovation. Cannot believe his ideology has become a bane in the Nigerian space. So thank you, Alexander. But I think the history that were taught us then was that of a placid, well-intentioned Danfodio. But then, of course, the experience now that is unfurling in front of us is a totally different. The guy wants to dip his holy book in the Atlantic Sea. Do you know what that means? It's coming from Futajalon. There's no Atlantic Sea in Futajalon. The only Atlantic Sea that I know is in Lagos. So that tells you what the intention is. And that intention, of course, still in play. But engineer, what is in play in the east? So the voice now that seems to occupy that eastern quarter now is that voice of Simon Ekpa. You cannot pick up a newspaper or go through a news feed without him speaking to the space. The same tonality, almost word for word the same wording. Nnamdi Kanu Mark II. Nnamdi Kanu, of course, we have no expectations that he'll be out in public for the next 2-3 years. And this guy continues to speak to that space and speak to that space. Is this a silent coup that is taking place in the Eastern Quarters, engineer? Is Simon Ekpa about to gazump Nnamdi Kanu as the voice of the East? Engineer?
Yes, back to our brother Samuel Ekpa. You
Simon
see,
Ekpa.
yeah, to be honest, like I said, this guy started his own show before even Radio Biafra. That's the truth. And say whatever Ekpa then was saying, because I went through Facebook, I was one of his followers up to date. He is pinpointing things that is going wrong in that country, you see, but nobody recognized him that much before Nnamdi Kanu exploit. See, when it comes to reality like that, see, Ekpa, well, he's a good man. He says the reality of things. He says everything that is happening, and what he does is he exposes what the Nigerian government they do and how they're not treating people fairly. And from there, he decided, you know what? Since we people, you don't want to give us that position to be in that country, why not let us go? That's where
We know all that, but that also is the language of Nnamdi Kanu. But Simon Ekpa was just a satellite voice in the ethers. It's only hardcore people like you that were aware of him. But now he dominates that space now, filling the vacuum that has been left by Nnamdi Kanu. So what I'm saying essentially is that is this guy now just in the processes of carrying out a silent coup against Nnamdi Kanu just to seize control of that space that he occupied or
yeah,
still occupies.
of course, Samuel Ekpa will be more stronger now because with what is happening to Nnamdi Kanu, Samuel Ekpa will seal that empty space. He will build it up. That momentum definitely will go higher more because the level of how things will become now, people will be shocked because one man, look, that country, there is no job, there's nothing. And if you see somebody coming to tell you the truth, the reality of things, you will definitely understand what the man is saying. You'll be one of his followers. That's just the truth. If you look, the ESM, they are not fighting, they are not killing people, they are not killing the houses in the south. You understand?
But the ESN has dissipated and faded away. There's no ESN. When did you last hear ESN? These boys have just thrown their guns into the river and a lot of them taken to armed
they
robbery
have
and
thrown their
whatnot.
gun into. You see, one man, listen, the ESN, they are following what is happening in Nigeria. This is the fact. They don't come out and make noise. That's just the truth. You understand?
But you used to hear about ESN a lot. You don't hear about them anymore.
Why would you come out and start showing yourself?
They've effectively disbanded, have they not?
No, not really. Not really, to be honest. Not really. Because
you don't
look,
think so?
I don't think so, and I would never believe so, one man. The reason why I will tell you this, because this is what is happening in Nigeria. If today you come out and speak publicly, remember, we have Buhari agents every corner. We have the ass leakers that they will go and report you or report any of your family member to Buhari. Because Nigerian government, they are no more doing their governmental job. What they do is kidnapping and killing citizens of the country for them not to say the truth. This is what is happening in that region now. Because if you look, the ESN, They saw what happened to Sunday Igboho after what happened to Nnamdi Kanu. Do you think they will come out and say start making noise? No, they will have to plan B, how to protect themselves, how to protect the citizen of that state. This is what is happening. Remember, the governor of that region, he is one of the Buhari servants, nothing else. So he's being covered up, and he's being treated as part of the coup, part of the kakus in that area. And look, the reason
okay. I will sample other people's opinions, engineer.
Before
But
I round up,
it is my belief that Simon Ekpa is slowly in the throes of carrying out a silent coup against Umahia Born. But we'll find out soon enough. But let me take you to a different space. We are talking about Plan B. On the 4th of May 2021, the Nigerian government, this time led from the offices of the Attorney General of the Federation, made great play of the fact that they had in their custody 400 sponsors of Boko Haram, their financiers, their sponsors, etc. And they'll be charged to court shortly, was what we were assured. This was on the 4th of May. This is now what? The 4th of, August now. So shortly now, what shortly is shortly, because I don't know why these charges have not been filed. Their names are being blocked from the public space. These people are bureau de change operators, essentially, extremely wealthy people in Kaduna and Kanu. And the sentiment now is that Abubakar Malami is trying to shield them and sweat them for money. Femi Falana writes under the Freedom of Information Act to find out exactly when these people are going to be presented in court. So the 400 sponsors are engineer. What is happening in that space? Is it catch and release again?
There are more than 400 there. That's just the truth. Because see, if this is what we'll need to look at it again from previous conversation, right? Most people are, even like the Hausas, they are scared of the Fulanis. And what would they do? Fulani language is go and attack and kill. Fulani don't care. Fulani, they are not Nigerians. Their mission is to go, conquer, destroy, and enforce people to follow what they believe is their own religion. This is what is happening. So when it comes to reality like that, the Hausa's governors down in the north, they are all panicking. They are scared because nobody will come out and save them. The northerners, they are all suffering. They are dying. So in terms of sponsoring them, come on, one man, if you can't beat them, you will join them, innit? You will sit there. People will come. You will tell you, Fulani man will walk into your house. Remember, Fulani don't care. They already vowed their life. They know that country is not their country, so they can put high vest with every equipment in that high vest. They can come to your house and blow themselves. That's
you know what? A lot of people make all this thing about these Fulanis. If they see it themselves, they will balk. Because we build them up so much that we are almost defeated before they knock on the door. If we confront these people frontally, they will balk. They will balk. You know.
Yes,
but,
this is what I'm saying. The Northerners, they are hoping on the Igbos and the Yorubas.
You know,
can I come in? Can I come in there, please?
Yes, please. Wait,
You see, it's not that you see what is happening in Nigeria. These people are very, very tactical. They didn't go to school, quite all right. They are not, they are not very flamboyant. They are not eloquent when they speak English, but they are very, very tactical. This old southern Nigeria, feel that they are most learned, richest, and so on and so forth. But these people are very, very tactical, and they know how to play this divide and rule tactics very, very well. If you're using your own people against you, you see why they succeed is this. They always like to plant their people at the top of every business, department. In the army, they are there. In the defense, they are there. In the police, they are there. In this, they are there. Let me tell you one thing that happened some time ago. One of the things that made me to, leave the army was that at Southern Kaduna, there is a place, Zango Kataf area. There is a place they gave them 70 hectares of land. I said this thing here before. Go there now. That thing has been surreptitiously increased to 120,000 hectares. How? They have encroached. They left the 70,000. They have encroached on other people's land. And when these people come to take their land, they will attack them and fight them. When they go to sleep, they will plan and attack them. And when these owners of the land organize themselves to attack them back, you do know what they do? They will call the attention of the military and the police. The police will come. Oh, sooner so, sooner so. They want to kill us. They want to kill us. Then they will use the army now to subdue those people that wants to protect and defend the land that they have been taken forcefully.
Exactly.
So this is what they do. That is the game they play. It is there. But
do you know that, sorry, Vin, do you know that space you are speaking to, that space that you're speaking to also speaks to the space of state policing. So this is why we're seeing a lot of resistance in state policing, because of course, if you have state police in your state, then the 80%, 90% of the policemen will be Oyo indigenes. They will carry guns, they will be armed, they will look after the interest of Oyo people. And that of
they
course,
will see, one man. Yeah. They would if the reason why they are against state police is that state police will be localized.
It's game over now. They know who
exactly. Completely game over.
They will know who comes in, a stranger within us, and who is not a stranger. And everybody will know everybody. And you will have the confidence to tell your security personnel who speaks your language, this man is alien to this land. We don't know this person.
You're a Yoruba man in Ogbomoso. Some Fulani man is being rascally. You phone the local state police that some Fulani man is being rascally. 2 minutes, he'll be out of there. Either
they will come
by willing or by 6 foot under. One way or the other is gone. But if you're a Yoruba man in Ogbomoso, the Fulani man is disturbing you. You are phoning some Nigerian police who is from Borno State. He will come and arrest you and lock you up for having audacity.
Look at what happened to Igboho.
That is the thing. State police solve that.
They kill people in the town. Igboho said no. They called the police, they couldn't come. They called the army couldn't come. Even it got to a stage where the army were seen on video, on camera, escorting the herdsmen into the bushes. So Igboho said, no, you can't kill our people like this. And he organized the men to defend their people that are in the farming area, their farmland. That was what they did. And when they got there, they met resistance. And these people said, no, you cannot attack me on my father's land. You can't do that. And they chased them away. After chasing them away, what happened? The police came and began to arrest the Igbohos.
To the point of going to shoot them up in their home.
If you look at the history, let me tell you one thing. Go and study the history and how Aminu Kanu is an Hausa man, a typical Hausa man.
It was a decent man, Aminu Kanu.
Go and see how he was killed by these same people using
Aminu Kanu's politics was the same as Awolowo's politics. They are of the same ideological strand.
He is an Hausa man. He is an Hausa man. An Hausa man is known to be peaceful.
But he was also progressive.
If you live with them, they are progressive, they are peaceful, they are hospitable. They can even ask you, give you place to stay, without paying anything. I'm telling you the truth because I live with these people for almost 18 to 19 years. You
Is
see,
it the
it is
culture
this
that they
same
will
people.
gift you one of
It
their
is
wives
this.
if you go
It is
and visit?
the problem Nigeria has is
Is it
these
their
people that
culture?
are
Hold
coming
on.
from the Futajalong. These are the people.
Because
This is the problem
because
Nigeria has.
no, hold on. I heard this rumor about the Hausa people that if you go from a distance to go and visit them, they will gift you one of their wives, just for the duration of your stay. Engineer.
No, those are from those days. Those are from Benue. Will tell
Okay.
you,
So
yeah.
it is true because I heard it and I thought I can't thought anyway,
No,
interesting.
you see, one man. If you visit a place, a highly placed person or a dignitary comes to your place, it is part of their culture to give you. In fact, sometimes they do give you wives to marry.
Mm.
They do, in Hausa culture. In Hausa culture, if you are very important and you have done something good for them, a dignitary coming to
No,
them,
they did
they
that to Fani Kayode in some when they gave him some title somewhere in the far north and then tried to give him a woman. I don't know if you
it
took
is
it or not.
left for you to accept. It's left for you to accept or not to accept. So it is part
Well,
of them.
I'm an
It
Oyo
is
man
in
though.
their culture. Yeah, it
Uh,
is in their culture. That is to show you the highest level of what do they call acceptance in their place.
Acceptance. It's
Oh,
like
oh,
it's
oh, all right. Thank you, Vin. Let me take engineer's thoughts on this last story. And then I'll go to Ajanle Koko, and then I'll go to UK. I'll come to you, Vin, Baba Kore, and then it looks as though we're in trouble because the DSS is there with us now. The DSS are with us, so you can see DSS monitoring us just on your screen there. But first, just this a senior person speaks to the Nigerian space, and the language that this guy is speaking is the language of all of us. Engineer, this guy is called Ebun Olu Adegboruwa. Ebun Olu Adegboruwa, a name you may or may not know, a senior lawyer, senior advocate of Nigeria. And he is just speaking to something that is very simple but also very germane to the Nigerian space. So let me give you this paragraph. He wrote a very long-winded one, which I think I read in totality. But let me just give you this paragraph. He said, "The All Progressive Congress will generate, transmit, and distribute from current 5,000 to 6,000 megawatts to at least 20,000 megawatts of electricity within 4 years and increase to 50,000 megawatts with a view of achieving 24/7 uninterrupted power supply within 10 years, whilst simultaneously ensuring development of sustainable and renewable energy." This was from the manifesto of the APC submitted to the people of Nigeria in the wake of the 2015 general election. Power generation is the main issue in regards to the socio-economic development of any nation. In Nigeria, however, successive governments have deployed it for political gains. Knowing the importance that Nigerians attach to it, for instance, I have never experienced electricity supply in my hometown since I was born, as we are not connected to the national grid. So he goes on and on to detail just the experience of a Nigerian person just wanting just the most basic of basic, which is just power supply, which is like this just speaks to the heart. Let me give you this paragraph. It says, indeed, the entire Ondo South senatorial district was disconnected from the grid about 12 years ago, even though attempts are underway to reconnect. Several towns and villages are like my hometown, locked out of any form of development at all. Yet we are classified as oil producing. Last week, the national grid collapsed for the umpteenth time. I placed an order for the replacement of a generator and got an invoice of about 5 million naira just for a 30 kVA version. To change the inverter batteries would also cost a fortune. This is the sordid tale of most Nigerians. So that space, And it goes on to remind us what Fashola said. When Fashola was the governor of Lagos State then in 2014, he was opening Lekki Phase 1 then, and he was saying to the Goodluck Jonathan regime that corruption has eaten so deep into it that any government within 6 months would, of course, ensure uninterrupted power supply in Nigeria within 6 months. 6 months was what he put as the benchmark for that. He was the power minister for 4 years, and Nigeria continues to still pay the price of darkness. So that space, just that lack of electricity in Nigeria, what is going on there? Because the money spent on electricity in Nigeria is enough to power the entirety of the West African region, but still we wallow in darkness. Engineer.
Okay, thank you, Woman. You see, those are the areas that I feel like lambasting this Nigerian government, because when you come to reality, we have every resources in that country, not to even complain of electricity. Look, the weather is very good. The weather is nice. Let's keep high volume of electric current and the rest. We are in the 21st century world. What is happening with solar panel? You understand? Because the weather in Nigeria is good. And these are the weather that if you put a solar panel, that will supply electricity to every citizen of that country. Imagine we supply light to Cotonou. There was a time Nigeria has a little bit issue with
Niger
Cotonou.
Republic as well, we supply electricity to
So
them.
imagine we have a little bit issue with Cotonou. There was a time, was it I think a year plus or 2 years, if I'm not mistaken, because they haven't paid. They haven't paid Nigerian
We
government.
have, oh, sorry to interrupt you. You know, Nigeria is sitting on one of the top 7 largest gas reserves in the world.
Yeah.
Kyrgyzstan, one of these stan countries, has the highest, and then Nigeria is maybe top 5, top 7 highest gas reserves in the world. That gas reserves alone can power easily the entirety of that country without a problem. You know, we have hydro dams that I don't know. We can buy nuclear plants. You just buy 5 nuclear plants. We won't even discuss electricity ever.
No,
This is
that
what
one.
Dubai did now. This is what.
If you mention of nuclear plant, that one it's like you're trying to prognose America and France and Britain knows. Don't they will come after you. That one.
No. If you buy it from them and let them run it, the media are only
Uh,
interested in money.
those people, honestly. But let's talk about the electricity aspect. You see, these people they sat there. I'll be wondering they will come back again in power. I don't know how they feel lying bluntly. They come out, yeah, we'll fix electricity. Since we're kids, we will fix electricity. Up to date, no light. You see, what this lawyer wrote is touching. It's really touching. It's an abuse. It's something that Nigerian government they need to rethink. What is
In
happening?
that piece, one thing he said in that piece that struck me is that the power generating company of Nigeria, they are using generators to power their offices themselves. So
Here we go.
that's just the end of it, isn't it?
Here we go. That's it. And look,
When
one man.
NEPA is using
Let's be
generator.
honest. And you see, the corruption is starting from the top there. This is what I always say. Now, you see, somebody who is against that I'm not happy, and I will still say it. Regardless, now he's realizing his own pechi or he's trying to come in as the president. Atiku is one of the problem. We don't have electricity in that country.
Oh, you mean no? You mean he's the one running the generator
Of
business?
course, he's the one that has the contract. Any generator coming into Nigeria, they have to pass through Atiku permission. So the contract is they awarded him that contract for him to take care of that aspect. But it's such a shame that a country, most of them now, I'm telling you, they have a soundproof generator in their houses, or they have solar panel. They don't care. But remember, it's the same people that will come out and start giving false information, false promises. Come and vote for us. We'll do this. We'll do that. Come on, it's high time. Honestly, it's high time, because the level of how evil these people they are. Come on, a whole Nigeria. If there's electricity today in Nigeria 24/7, that country will start developing something that other countries
You
will
know,
come
if
and
there was electricity, it would go a long way. There's just so many. Do you know? Do you know the problems that electricity will solve in Nigeria? Electricity will solve the problem of unemployment because the factories then they can open knowing that there's power supply. They employ
24/7.
labor. You know, people can run businesses. They employ labor. Having
Exactly.
having electricity. Do you know what that means to the average Nigerian household? It's like the government giving you 50,000 naira just for free, even 200,000 naira. What do I mean? The money you spend on generator is no longer there. The money you spend on the diesel for generator is no longer
Black
there.
market. Black market.
You are able to buy food in bulk and store it. You are able to run your economy from your own home. So a lot of the monies that you spend to insulate that lack of electricity is now money that is back in your pocket. This will affect,
Exactly.
and
So no,
the price of everything goes down. It's just that one thing. It will solve so many problems.
exactly, because with electricity, this is what is happening. Jobs, definitely there will be jobs. There will be employee. You will see youth that will come out and imagine you going to university, you studying electrical, and you come out the country there is no light. How will you start? How So those are the things that people will look. What is happening in that country? Is there a point of going to university? That's just the truth.
Oh,
Because
oh,
now what is happening in Nigeria is who you know. It's not what you merit.
all right. Thank you. Thank you, engineer. Let me go on quickly to UK. UK,
Okay.
are you there with us now? Are you back with us, UK?
Yes, I'm here.
Oh, okay. I was wanting you to especially speak to that Simon Ekpa space. So Simon Ekpa now, a name that we're conjuring with, not the case before, the case now, Simon Ekpa. So he continues to speak to that space. His latest headline, Wave of Biafra will continue until Nigeria is completely dissolved. So you can remove Simon Ekpa and put Nnamdi Kanu to that space, and those are the exact same set of words that you're most likely to hear. So Nnamdi Kanu now incarcerated and is decommissioned for the foreseeable. I don't think anybody has any expectations of seeing Nnamdi Kanu anywhere in public for at least 2-3 years, if not longer. So it's out of circulation. But this guy now, through his tonality and his presentation and personality, is now speaking to that space that Nnamdi Kanu occupied. So is this essentially a palace coup, a silence coup that this guy is carrying out before our very own eyes? Is this guy
No,
essentially seizing Nnamdi Kanu's slot and taking over his empire?
no. I mean, two of them are just chasing same goal. Simon is doing his own thing. But it's still based on that Biafra struggle. So Simon is not taking. I mean, because I follow Simon, I follow him the way I follow you. I
You don't
also
think he's
contribute.
grabbing Kanu's slot?
No, no, no. He's not.
You
I
don't
mean,
see that.
he's
You don't
he's
see
a
that.
loyalist. He's a loyalist to
Yeah, he's a
Nnamdi Kanu.
loyalist. Actually,
Yeah.
engineer just told us how the Fulanis came in with loyalists and then they took over everything.
No. For him, he's not grabbing. He's not that kind of person. I think he's a very nice
Come on,
man.
man.
You know. No,
You, can't,
no.
you don't see the ambition in that guy's eyes.
No. I mean, the ambition is for us to disintegrate Nigeria and
Forget all the disintegration. The guy,
One
the
man,
guy.
Mechonu, one
What,
man,
let me finish.
I mean, as you know, this guy is seizing.
No. Let me finish. Let me finish. I mean,
come on, man. Can you not see
no,
it? Can you not see what he's doing?
No, what he's doing, I mean, he's doing the right cause. One man. I mean, he's not doing anything bad, because even Nnamdi Kanu followers are the one following him too.
Well, there you are. Is that not it?
No. Why I said that since Nnamdi Kanu, is not available now.
Yes.
And Simon is speaking what people want to hear.
There you go.
And Simon exposition
And you are saying
Is
this is not coup plotting.
no, no,
You
no.
can't see the coup
It's
that
not
is
a
being
good. No,
plotted.
it's not a good plot.
UK, leave one man alone. One man will whine you. I'm telling you
So
now.
no, no,
But
no, no.
I can see it, but I'm surprised that he cannot see it.
One man. Let me tell you something.
Eh?
UK. Let me help one man.
UK
See,
has disappeared. I think he's too upset by the. I think he just suddenly realized and he ran away. That
no,
look, coup plotting.
see,
Eh?
one man. The fact is this: when Mazen Namde Kano was, in the field doing his show the way he knows how to do it. This guy was also there doing his own thing as well. But do you know the difference? He is very, very loyal to Mazen Namde Kano. If Mazen Namde Kano is making his broadcast, he will wait until Mazen Namde Kano end his broadcast, again 30 minutes or 45 minutes before he will not do his own. And if he is doing it, there is no time that he has had any broadcast, that a joint broadcast that is going to affect Mazen Namde Kano. No, that guy has been there for quite. So now the main man is not there. The hand that is holding him is holding him, and we are praying for him as well. So he is now continuing with what he was doing, even when Mazen Namde Kano was, in the field. So I don't think that there is a coup or something like that. There is no coup there. He is just doing his own thing the way he knows best. And the Mazen Namde Kano, wherever he is, will be proud of him. That's what I would say.
Okay. Vin, have you heard of an Italian guy called Niccolo Machiavelli? Have you heard of the Italian guy called Niccolo Machiavelli? Have you heard of that name?
No, please. I think
Okay. When they say something is Machiavellian, what you are seeing in play now is Machiavellianism. This is Machiavellianism in play now with this Simon Ekpa. Oh, so contrite. I'm a disciple of Nnamdi Kanu, but he's grabbing that space. I'm looking at his numbers because I know his numbers pre Nnamdi Kanu and I know his numbers post Nnamdi Kanu, and I can see the trajectory and the projection of this guy. This guy is moving into that space to seize that space from Nnamdi Kanu. There's absolutely no question about that. And he's using deceit, he's using deviousness, he's using realpolitik. Whether he realizes that he's doing it or not, and I think he does realize that he is doing it, he is looking to seize that space from Nnamdi Kanu. Absolutely no question about that.
No, I disagree with you totally. I disagree with you totally. And if you call him today and ask him, he will tell you that he is a disciple. He is not there. Yeah, he has made it. He has made it clear. He has made it clear.
Lawrence Anini and say, "Are you an armed robber?" He will say, "What will he
say?"
No.
He has made it clear from the word go. He made it clear from the word go. I follow him all the time. He made it clear, from the word go that he is not. Even when other people were doing, when Uchemefo did what he did, I know what this guy was saying. That is why even before that time, he was not calling himself disciple. It is just recently that he started calling himself disciple. So he will not do that.
He was appointed by Nnamdi Kanu. You know that.
It was never
most of those things. Most of the things we heard that time. Most of the things we heard that look, where Nnamdi Kanu is, you cannot. When was it? When did the Mazen Nnamdi Kanu was heard of? He was not heard of until the lawyer went to him. So there are important things that they would discuss, not to who is going to take over from him. And I don't think that Mazen Nnamdi Kanu says so. If Mazen Nnamdi Kanu said that, it would have come from the lawyers.
All right. Well, I believe that this guy is moving to seize Nnamdi. There are several people in play for Nnamdi Kanu's space, and this guy is the front runner because he has the language and the intellect.
One man,
and,
that is your
hold on,
opinion,
and
that is your opinion, and your opinion does not hold. It doesn't hold weight. It doesn't hold.
Speak to reality. Do you not think that Nnamdi Kanu's slot is in play? The space that he occupies, do you not think that it is in play as we are now?
You know,
when he's incarcerated.
Listen. Let's put it this way. Nnamdi Kanu, before he was arrested,
playing for that space. Do you not see Asari Dokubo playing for that space?
You see, it takes, look, the position and the eloquency, the vibrancy and everything, the brevity of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, the way he carries his things. I don't think that
new paradigm. It will just become a memory of the past.
Nobody will fit. Most of them, none of them will fit into that shoe. The shoe Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has left is so big for anybody to fit in. That is what I would like to tell you.
Let me tell you how that shoe is being filled. Now, I want you to listen to this. There was a time on this platform that all of these guys from the East will come. They line up one after the other, accusing me of using Nnamdi Kanu's name to propel my platform. And the reason, the only thing that I used to say back to them was that Nnamdi Kanu was never out of the news, and I am a current affairs analyst and a blogger. So, of course, what is in the news is what I blog about and report about. So, if Nnamdi Kanu is in the news, then I'll talk about him. Every single day, I will talk about him for as long. But in the last week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, almost a month, maybe longer, since he has been incarcerated, maybe every now and then we just do some little story about Nnamdi Kanu. He's not in the news anymore, but the name that we're now discussing with the increasing regularity is Simon Ekpa. So that guy is taking his slot in that IPOB, not the IPOB spot, but in the Biafra space. He's taking his spot, whether you like it or not, whether you want to see it or not. That spot is in play and is occupying it.
But one man,
See, okay.
The truth is, the Nnamdi Kanu was captured, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be a joy and a grateful thing to see somebody who cover that space at the moment before he will be released. You understand, one man? People, they are fighting for.
Okay. When is now released and Simon Ekpa has attained a level of notoriety or let's say popularity, are you then expecting Simon Ekpa to then step down and you expect him to are you joking?
No. One man, listen. One man, they try to understand something.
That is
one man. Nnamdi Kanu, he started this for people of Nigeria, not only Igbos. You understand? When he started for Igbos, but when he realized that people need their freedom in that country, right? But this is what is happening. Nnamdi Kanu, he's a soldier on floor. Samuel Ekpa is a soldier on air. He give the speech. Nnamdi Kanu demonstrate. So those are the two different things you see.
Okay, well, I am only going by the numbers, and Simon Ekpa's numbers has increased by 1,000-fold.
But at the end of the day, they are all Biafrans. They need their own peace. They need their own. That's it.
No. My brother, there is one thing. Can I come in there? There is one thing one man doesn't want to understand. See, one man, let me tell you this in today.
Okay.
This is not the first time Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was arrested.
Mm-hmm.
He was arrested first, I think 2017 or thereabout. He was incarcerated and bailed before they invaded his house and he left. It is only a tree that will stand there and see a cutter with a knife to come and cut it, and he will remain there. Now, while he was away, IPOB programs were going on. Those people that were carrying out the activities of IPOB within that period did not, because he was incarcerated at that time, then take over the space and begin to work strong.
No.
When he came, I'm coming. Let me land.
You are missing a crucial factor in your narrative. a lot of the people that were in situation them, they were just bland, vanilla sort of people. But this Simon Ekpa, he has the sparkle dust of stardom. So that sparkle dust of stardom that identifies Nnamdi Kanu is vested in this person as well. And he knows, Simon Ekpa, that he has that sprinkled dust of stardom. He's a personality, and he knows that it's a personality. And there were no personalities, so he's not going to.
One man. They said, you see, they said that necessity is what do they call it? Is necessity is the what of invention or something like that.
Mother of invention. Yeah.
You see, even if those people wanted to do what they wanted to do that time, they could have done what they wanted to do.
They don't have the drive. They don't have the language. They don't have
they could have done it, but they were still maintaining. They knew that there is a leader and the leader is incarcerated. They knew that there is a leader and the leader is incarcerated. Just like what is happening now. This guy knows.
The only superstar in that space was Nnamdi Kanu for a long time. So this new element now, he is a superstar too. There was no other superstar until this guy emerged. Who is another superstar in that space apart from Simon Ekpa? This guy is going to
one man. Can I clarify something for you, please? Listen, it's just a simple something. I'll give you two examples of what is happening in that country, Nigeria. If today Buhari is outside the country, who would take that position? It's Osinbajo.
Yes.
Thank you. Today, look at it. Ibori. What is happening? Ibori has been here in United Kingdom for a little bit while, but he has been released. And what happened? To the stage, someone is kneeling down, begging him, just because of his power, to become a governor of a state.
Okay.
So something you need to understand here: Nnamdi Kanu is the main man. You understand? Regardless what is happening to him today, if that doesn't happen to him,
for every Manchester United, there is a Liverpool. For every Manchester United, there is a Liverpool. So there is no main man, there are main men. There are no main man, there are main men.
Okay, what about the engine power then?
The engine power is it turbocharged? Is the thing. Eh? This is it.
One man, you better leave our Biafran people.
No, one man, let's go ahead. Let's go ahead. Let's leave this issue. Let's go ahead.
I will give you IPOB membership, and I will sew a dress for you to be putting on very soon.
I don't mind. It's just that red cap that I want, because I love that.
No problem. I'll get one for you. Don't worry.
Let's acknowledge Alexander's super chat. He is speaking to that conversation that we're having earlier on, and he's saying it to Ajanle Koko, just that power space that they're just using to hold that country down. So Alexander super chat at Ajanle Koko. He says, Ajanle Koko, I am sure you remember ECN on interrupted power supply back in the day. I remember paying 50 kobo at Igbaja Igbaja ECN station in front of Super Cinema Surulere as a bill. Nigeria really has lost her glory. So yes, I don't. That was for Ajanle Koko. I don't know Super Cinema, but I remember that Super Cinema in Agege where we used to.
It's talking about Igbaja.
Igbaja.
Yeah. It is true. ESN was functioning well. We used to have uninterrupted electricity. That was true. That is absolutely true. Yeah.
No, this is what I was explaining to Evie some time ago, that it is just this sort of memories that, that makes a lot of people so angry about it. Thank you for the super chat, by the way, Alexander. It's this sort of memories that make a lot of people so angry about the Nigerian space. Alexander is still a relatively young man, and within his lifespan, there was a period of uninterrupted power supply in Nigeria. So how then would you want somebody like Alexander to feel when he sees now this country that he has just described as the country that he's saying now? So this is where the anger comes from. Thank you, Alexander. Let me go back to UK, who is now back with us. I think I knocked him out by theorizing that Simon Ekpa was coup plotting against the mighty one from Umar here. I hope you have sufficiently recovered from that news. UK. Let me
No,
swiftly take.
no, he did not, and he will never. So let's
Oh,
just go to
okay.
another news.
Oh, okay. But please come back when that fight breaks out, which I'm predicting between the two of them fairly soon.
There will be
The
no
act-
fight. There will
the
be no
act-
fight.
okay, all right. The
There is always a boss. There is
huh?
always a boss.
Okay, all right. And all right, let me just leave that. Okay, let me take you swiftly to the north and Boko Haram, UK. So Abubakar Malami covering up for this supposed court sponsors of Boko Haram, promising that people will be charged to court as far back as the 4th of May, and the year runs out fairly soon, and still we are hearing nothing from that space. So is it the same catch and release that we're hearing from that Boko Haram space? They catch them and then they release them. What is going on there?
Well, one man, this Boko Haram issue now, we know that Nigerian government they are sponsor, because I don't know if you heard the news, the Dubai people, Dubai government, they caught those Boko Haram sponsor and locked them up.
Yes.
I think today nobody have even mentioned, even Nigerian government, even the Lai Muhammad have not even talked about that one. Then this one, they said they caught them. Well, me looking at how they have hold them. Maybe those ones they already released them now. All this thing we are just talking is just we are just making noise. Maybe those ones they have already started funding again while we were here sitting down talking about them. So for me, I don't think they will do anything, because if you remember one other guy, he was a kidnapper. During that Evans case, this Hausa guy that they caught now, later on they say either they kill him or not, but nobody hear about that guy. I mean, it's the same catch and release now. Even that involved, they kill even I think about three policemen. During when they wanted to catch him, because of him, they killed three policemen. So we don't even hear about those ones. So that's to show us that the Nigerian government, I mean, they are cashing out big time in that kidnapping, in this Boko Haram and kidnapping.
The reason why they are saying this guy is not prosecuting these people is not even for reasons of some religious or ethnic fervor. It's simply for money. Of course, this guy a notorious looter, Abubakar Malami. So he is now holding them to sweat them, because these people, they are bureau de change operators, and you know how wealthy those people are. So it's just sweating them for money. It's just all that it's doing, just casual stealing.
So I mean, for somebody like that, they make him the attorney general. Man, the thing sometimes, I get the thing. I don't. The thing makes. Sometimes I will even ask, what is our people downstairs? What are they even doing? All these people that have PhD, that have really, these people, these nomadic people, they keep ruining us. That's my question. And nobody, and it's like they just pin everybody down. I mean, like, even those one who's supposed to even talk, who's supposed to even make noise, so that others will follow. Nobody's even talking.
Somebody's coming out to furnish you with the name that the kidnapper you were looking for. His name is Wadume.
Yeah. So this thing, this thing, is it not juju? Is it not juju that they hold the whole country?
Which one is juju again? Where is juju coming from?
I mean, people cannot even talk sometimes. I mean, this thing will just be playing like a movie.
No, they're just playing with our minds.
They're using intimidation.
Yeah.
They're using intimidation.
Yeah. And like you said, we're not hearing from Lai Mohammed. So they seem to control the news space. So it is whoever. Imagine how aggressively they are going after Nnamdi Kanu and Sunday Igboho. Look at how aggressively they are going after them. But in the same breath, they are telling us that they've got 400 sponsors of Boko Haram who they are not doing anything about. So which one is the more dangerous elements to the Nigerian space? Which one has more immediate danger, presents a more immediate danger to Nigeria?
Is the
Kanu or the Boko Haram that just
is the Boko Haram? But the thing is that I want to ask a question. Has this Nigerian government, have they proscribed this Boko Haram as a terrorist organization?
No, they haven't. Even though the Americans classify them as terrorists.
No.
So why is it that when IPOB raise up, because sometimes I don't like people using that proscribed, IPOB. That thing sometimes is always make me mad. Because these people, proscribed. Yeah, but I don't know why this thing is just going this way.
UK.
Yes.
UK, let me help you a little there. See, what happened is this. They said what kills a cow is inside the intestine, inside the stomach. You see, when the proposal to proscribe Boko Haram was heating up in Nigeria, the North refused. They refused that time. They never allowed Goodluck Jonathan to. Do you know the people that proscribed Boko Haram? It was the Americans. It was the Americans that proscribed it, not Nigerians, because there were this dragging of feet. Nobody knows what they were doing that time. It was the American government that proscribed them before they now fall in line. Then coming to IPOB, look at the IPOB. The people that suggested that they should proscribe Mazen Kanu and the IPOB was the governors of Southeast, especially Obiano. Obiano was the person that said
don't say that or let you know that, though. Don't target the man. No, people are hearing these things that we're talking about.
You see, that is the. You see, the thing is that
Is this known? What you are saying that it was Obiano? Hold on. I have a man that always speaks to fact. We've got Prof. Prof, come on. Unmute yourself, Prof, because I'm not sure what people are saying here. Prof.
Hello, I'm one man.
Yes, hello. Just quickly to what Vin.
Will Obiano of Anambra State, where I hail from, was the one that did it. He's the one that opened his mouth to say IPOB is a terrorist entity. Will Obiano said it.
It was the first.
And Garba Shehu in one interview sometime last year, when he was asked of IPOB, he said that IPOB is a terrorist group and it was proscribed by the Southeast. That settles it. So one man, Willie Obiano, primarily he's from my state. He opened his mouth and said that. He never said it in a drunken state because that man they drink well. He never said it in a drunken state. No, Willie Obiano too they drink. Go and ask people in Anambra State.
All right. Thank you, Prof. Anytime Prof comes, he comes with his daughter. Say hello to your daughter for us, Prof.
My daughter, they here. My children, they here. They do
anytime you come, if we don't hear your daughter now, we'll be asking. Yeah.
One man UK.
Yeah.
Yes.
You see, with that, let me tell you one thing. You see, these people, the other side, the northern part of Nigeria, will not have any effect on you if your people stand behind you. But once they find out those sellouts among you, they will use them to intimidate you. That is what is happening. They only need one northerner, a Fulani man. The rest that will be doing the work on the ground will be your own people. That is how they do it. That's the trick they use. The one man who commanded, they will just, let's say, appoint a commissioner. He's an Hausa man over there. Then the people that will be doing the underground work, kidnapping and abducting, going house to house to catch people and cut them into pieces, send them to wherever they want to send them, are your own people. And when you turn against those people, now they'll say, "Oh, you are killing your own people. It is your own people that you are dealing with." That is what is going on.
What is it that Morris always says? He says, out of every 12, there's always a Judas. So out
Well,
of
that's
every,
it.
so
UK, please carry on.
Okay.
Yes.
One man. So, man, looking at all this narrative now, you notice that, as you said, this Malami is just cashing out now, and his cohort. All they just care is about the money, because I think for them, they know that the country it must surely disintegrate. So that's why they just want to make the ones they can make, because as soon as the country collapse, none of them, they won't be making those money. They will go back to their poverty, because nobody will give them. So the ones they make now, they can eat it if they can maintain it. So that's all I want to say.
Sorry. UK. You said you mentioned saying if Nigerian governors, the Nigerian government, they are using juju. To be honest, they are using juju. You know why?
Yes.
You miss some few days where somebody come out and name the name of the juju. I believe one man knows the name of the juju.
Dugurudu.
Go and
Yes.
get juju for Dugurudu. That's all.
Dugurudu. This is the Federal Republic of Dugurudu. We should say, is that not even a better name than Nigeria? The Federal Republic of Dugurudu.
Engineer, they got wahala for this platform.
The Federal Republic of Dugurudu.
See, one man. Do you know that Nigeria is one of the funniest places and one of the most horrible places? One of everything about Nigeria, goes to extreme.
You know what you're saying? It's funny. There was a survey that they did, just a happiness quotient that they did globally, and Nigerians are some of the happiest people on the planet. I was alarmed. This was about 3 something, or maybe
during good luck, Jonathan.
I think it was 3. But they were some of the happiest. And I was thinking, what is the basis of that happiness? That Nigerians are some of the happiest people, because we just look to optimism. That's just our nature, just to look to optimism. I think it's the Dugurudu that we have.
One man. You know what? One man.
Yes.
You know what? You see, the reason why that survey came out, that way was that if you look at the entertainment industry in Nigeria, you look at our comedians. I think Nigeria has the highest comedians in the world.
They're so funny, and now the highest artist as well. Just
so
imagine what that country could be.
No matter how. In fact, there was a time where they rated Nigeria as the most misery. I think the misery. Misery, is it? How do they put it? The miserable, people on earth. You see, in everything. Look, Nigerians.
I don't think I accept that. I don't think that Nigerians are miserable.
No, it's not most miserable. It's most happiest people on earth.
Happiest,
look,
yes.
There is something I would like to tell you. You see, Nigerians are the easiest people that you can, lead, and they will follow you only if you be truthful to them. You cannot do that in Ghana. Just imagine an MP send the bags of rice to his constituency. What did they do?
we all saw that video. They were throwing it back in the
We chase the man away. We don't need your food. We will go eat right now. Then tomorrow we shit it outside.
Do you know the funniest thing, Vin?
We need job.
The funniest thing. Just on that week when we saw that clip of the Ghanaians throwing rice bag in the trucks and sending the politician away. Just that week, the news came out of Atiku Abubakar. No. Atiku, what is his name? Atiku.
Yes, it was Atiku sharing bread
in Kanu. So they are throwing rice bag in Ghana and they are sharing bread in Kanu. So that's the Nigerian story. But thank you. Let's go quickly to Ajanle Koko, who has been waiting patiently. So Ajanle Koko, we see you. Good to have you. So to that space then, my speculation of a possible silent coup by Simon Ekpa. Do you see where I am coming from with that, or are you dismissive like everyone else? Malami covering up for the Boko Haram 400 to the point that Femi Falana is writing to him under the Freedom of Information Act to furnish him with information as to when these people will be prosecuted or what the state of play is in that process within 7 working days. And then, of course, to that space, then Ebun, this name, I'm sure somebody like you will be familiar with this with a person of this status. Ebun Olu Adegboruwa. I'm sure it's a name that you almost certainly will be familiar with. But he laments to that crucial space of just basic electricity supply in Nigeria. Citing himself as an example, his struggle is describing his struggles and is weighing then that against the life of the average Nigerian, and is just speaking a story of abject misery. So to all of that, good to see you, Ajan Lekoko. But first to the palace coup in the east.
One man, there is no palace coup anywhere. Ekpa cannot topple Kanu. The difference between two of them is like the word like and love. Love is different from like.
Yeah.
Yeah, you see, Kanu, majority of Igbo people love him. And you know that love comes from the heart. So, but Ekpa, people like him. So that is the difference between two of them. So there's no way Ekpa can take over that position because it's just even the
You don't think that people will find him a bit more palatable because he's a bit more civilized in his tonality while still landing the points and asserting the positions. You don't think it's a more acceptable face for that space?
No. He's just
you don't
doing
think
the
it's
same
a more
thing.
acceptable face for that space? You don't find his tonality more civilized than Kanu's? I've not yet
No,
heard him calling people bastards and whatnot.
no, I think he's just doing the same thing Kanu was doing, or rather, can I say, he is imitating Kanu. Kanu has put on the ground a structure, and that backbone. I mean, the IPOB, which is that structure. I don't think there's anybody that can take over that organization. The leadership, another person can take over the leadership of that organization while Kanu is away. But when it comes to, the drive and the support for that organization worldwide, Kanu build that structure that entice people, that drive people into supporting that organization. So if you take Kanu out completely, it's really going to affect that organization. But Kanu is still relevant, even though he's away. That's why you see the organization going. So without that organization in place, Ekpa would be no person at all. So Ekpa is just representing that space, that that vacuum that Kanu left while he's away now. But to take over that organization and entirely and be the new leader, that's not going to be possible.
Okay, I'm just looking forward to the fight that almost inevitably will come in the shortest future when this guy's popularity starts to grow and grow, and that starts to grate. And
yeah, the popularity, his popularity can grow.
Would that not grate on Nnamdi? Would Nnamdi Kanu not feel threatened if this guy grows in popularity?
No, his popularity can grow, but it cannot be as great as Kanu.
All
So
right.
yes, so his popularity can grow, but Kanu is a great guy in that organization and in
Okay,
that cause.
very good. The good thing is that you have signed a 5-year contract with the platform now. So over the next few years, certainly you and I will be on this platform again talking about that fight and the engineer too that is going on, because I am pretty certain that the fight will break out between the two of them fairly soon. And Vin as well, you are contracted too. But taking you away from that space to another space, Ajanle Koko and Abubakar Malami is just trying to outdo Abacha in the looting just from his tiny little office as Minister of Justice. This guy now what is going on with those Boko Haram financiers that they told us far back in May?
Look, let me tell you, most of those people that were arrested as Boko Haram financier, I want to guarantee you, when they are taken to court, most of them will be free. You know why? Because Nigerian state intelligence gathering capacity is very, very low. It's like they don't even have intelligence gathering.
Very poor.
You know,
very poor.
Very poor. Very, very poor. Very, very poor. So, if a nation like that does not have a very effective intelligent capacity, there's nothing that nation can do well when it comes to security, management of security of that state. That is why they cannot win the war of Boko Haram, because they don't have good intelligence. So the same thing with this thing. These people who are arrested, I bet you most of them, they are not back of, they just want to show something that, oh, they are doing something to fight Boko Haram. And on that line, they harass some people. They, how do I put it? They destroy the image of some people. And at the end of the day, we won't hear anything. So, and what they have done to those people simply unconstitutional. You cannot arrest people and then put them in detention, and you didn't do anything you didn't do anything on them.
Is there not even a legal requirement that you either charge or release within 24 hours?
At most 48 hours.
Yes.
At most 48 hours. So, but you see Nigerian system, they say, okay, they will arrest them, or we are carrying out investigation. Really? How can you arrest people before that? You are not sure
is that not back to front? Do you not carry out the investigation first before arrest? Only in Nigeria.
Only in Nigeria. So the same thing they did to this Igbowo's aide that was arrested. They didn't do. Look at those people. Look at the way they humiliated those people. Those people, they brought them to court yesterday with the same clothes that they had on when they were arrested. Is that not that is the worst humiliation you can see that a state can do to a citizen? These people, you don't have anything against them.
You know that Lagos State has banned that. You know this culture of parading suspects by the police. Lagos State, I think just over the last 4 or 5 weeks or so, they've banned that now. That will no longer be a practice within Lagos State, because they just go and round up people. They call them armed robbers, and then laterly they are discovered that these people are not armed robbers, but we've already put them all in front of cameras and just tarnished their names, and then they go back to their community and have to deal with the consequences of that. So, it's just crass and crude.
That you see, that country, man. So those people supposed to have been taken to court. They're supposed to have done something about their case, get them released, or been jailed if they are found guilty of the allegation they put against them. But they just put them in the cooler, and we are not hearing anything about it. So justice delay is justice denied. The same thing they are doing on Igbowo's people. The same thing they are doing on Kanu. So this is a government that doesn't know what they are doing. They are just perambulating and doing things just anyhow. Illegality, that's it. So those people we don't really know if they are backer of terrorists or not. But you know, it's wrong to put them in detention for so long and we couldn't hear anything. So we have to commend our brother Falana for sending that strong letter to him that we want to know what is happening to those people. So we have to commend him.
Yes. So to that space, you were already having a bit of a side conversation with Alexander about it, but that space now that this senior lawyer, let me just make sure I get his name right because people will be irritated if I don't. Ebun Olu Adegboruwa. So Ebun Olu Adegboruwa.
Is it Adegboruwa or Nogoruwa?
No, Ebun Olu Adegboruwa, that is his name. He's a senior lawyer, SAN, Ebun Olu. He's a well-known name. He usually speaks to human rights affairs, but certainly now he's speaking to something that is at the heart of the Nigerian space. You know, just that's the basics of electricity. He's narrating. So he told us first of the narration of the promises made by Buhari and his men that when they come in, they will increase in staggered stages, but sharply and quickly, the electricity supply and distribution within Nigeria. That has not happened. At best, it has stagnated, but the experiences of a lot of people is that it has actually regressed. So Nigeria is now experiencing less electricity supply, not more. So so there is that, and then you know he is using his own narrative as an example to say that look, even somebody at my level, these are my struggles. So just that space, just that endless grind of just the most basic of fundamental rights, electricity, Ajane Koko.
That nation can never have electricity.
Why do you say that? You can't say that categorically now.
I'm telling you categorically, it can never have electricity. By the way that country is structured, centralized electricity for the whole country, and you think you can have electricity, it is never going. They're never going to have electricity. Lie is never going to come, except they decentralize that power of generation and distribution of electricity to local government level. Even a state cannot generate electricity for the whole state. If they break it down to local government level, where each local government can generate their own electricity, can generate and distribute within their own space alone, that is the only, and we efficiently manage it. That is the only way. But to say to connect to one grid for the whole nation, forget it. That the electricity will never come to that country. I guarantee you that. It's never done. In your England, where you are, is that the way they run electricity services? Centralized?
No.
In America here, it is each local government that generate and distribute their own. The same thing with water. And that is why we have 24 hours uninterrupted electricity, 24 hours free flow of water. So, look, that day is gone when we have small population. When we had small population, like Brother Alexander was saying, in the day of ECN. Do you know back then, if that ECN wanted to, maybe they had a problem with maybe terminal or anything and they want to fix it, and it's going to take like an hour or 2 hours, just the same way they do in America. That's the same way they will announce on radio. They'll be making that announcement like 3 days before that time that there's going to be power outage in so area. And they won't miss it. If they say it's going to be 1 hour to fix it, That is going to take them exact 1 hour. And after that, they will make another announcement to thank everybody for their cooperation with them to fix that problem. That was when things run in Nigeria. Look, what was our population in the 60s? Maybe we are like 65 million, or how many, or 40-something million was the population of the whole country. When we were using it, we had central power. So you still remain on central system with 200 million, with many banks, with many other services that uses electricity. Come on, that nation cannot have electricity with this central control system. They can never have it, I guarantee you, because the generation is one thing, distribution is another thing. And the obsolete equipment they have, it doesn't have that capability and the wherewithal, to withstand the current flow of power. So let's forget about that place. So they can't have electricity. And the problem, the people of Nigeria are the problem. I have suggested to some of my people, I say, how can you people be so dumb that you pay for the service that you don't enjoy?
Exactly.
People don't give you electricity,
exactly.
and they bring you a bill. And that bill, they don't read the meter. They call it estimated bill. So they just look at a particular house. They say, in this house. Yes, they just say, in this house, they should be using so amount, and that is what they charge them. And they bring the bill, and these people will pay them. And they will threaten them, if you don't pay your bill, we will cut your light. And they are so scared to death, they don't want their light, because the light you don't enjoy in the first place.
And they're buying stabilizer to stabilize the light.
You understand what I'm saying? So the people are the problem. If the people stop paying these people, the solution will come that day. I suggested to one of my sisters, I told her, I said, why are you paying this? Why are you paying money to these people? I said, this is domestic way of doing things. You pay for service you don't enjoy. You say, hey, because you are in America, you don't know the way things works here. That's why you are talking like this. I say, things work like that for them to get your money so easy. Look, let me tell you, I have an uncle that invested on hotel in Nigeria. When he was trying to get electricity, look at these people, they suggested to him that because he was telling them, because this business without constant electricity, the business will not flow well. So he told them, what can I do to get you see, these people came out with a lot of mouth and said, what you can do, if you get your own transformer, your own permanent transformer, there will be constant electricity. Do you know what he did? He paid for that transformer. They brought poles, to connect the light from one side of the town into where he had his hotel. So all the poles that they used to connect electricity to his transformer, he paid for everything. At the end of the day, he spent over 60 million on poles and transformer and connection, everything. And they guarantee, they say, the moment you have this, you are going to, there won't be interrupted electricity.
Criminals.
After some months, after some week or month, when they completed this thing, there was no light or no electricity. He called them. He said, and maybe their director, or so it came from the from Bini, and they came there. They carried through. They did everything. They said that you'll be having electricity 24 hours. 3 weeks after then, no electricity. He called them. He said, "What's the problem?" They said, "Oh, there is at Oshogbo grid. There was a thunder strike. There was something. They are fixing something there, so they have to turn off." Since then, he has been having on and off.
These people are criminals.
I'm telling you, official criminal, official. Official, this is official.
They will frustrate him. Tell him to just
official criminal.
They will frustrate him.
God.
They will.
Look, that one is number one. What of the local government? He bought some refuse, the kind of refuse bin that we use in here. He bought it, quality one. He took it to Nigeria, so that they can use it there. They said they cannot use it. They have to buy the one that the local government recommended.
Here we go.
He has to buy that one. So you see that official corruption, official, 419 that they operate in Nigeria is terrible. So it's just, they can't have electricity in that place. They cannot have it, one man, except they decentralize everything to local government to generate and distribute electricity within their own space. One man. Where is one man disappeared?
No, one man. No, I don't know where he go, but he will come back.
Boko Haram don't catch him.
Okay, maybe Boko Haram catch him. Oh, these people.
Don't carry one man.
PNC, that's from Nigeria. Arrange carry out.
They monitor, maybe they don't catch him.
So,
Ajali Koko, what you said is true. Such thing happened to me in Nigeria. My dad, when he built house finished, I know how we suffered, brought pole, everything. That is at your own expense, and that will never guarantee light.
Oh.
So you don't blame the people in Nigeria, they're just in a fix. But what you're saying is true. If everybody could rise up and say enough is enough, there will be a change. But the problem is the probability for them to do that is very low. That is the problem.
What is making it low? I cannot, if I decide to go and live in Nigeria, I bet you I'm not going to pay for electricity light. I will concentrate on generator, and I will manage myself to run that generator well in the best way I feel is good for me. If I'm not going to use electricity run generator in the morning, I will not run it. I run it only in the night. But to say I want to depend on the electricity, I will not go for the electricity.
Uncle, can I come in here?
Yes, come in.
See, you see what they are doing? Today, there is no running water in Nigeria.
That is shameful.
Every household now is sinking their own borehole. Do you know what they did while I was in Aba? That was, I think, 1980 something. As you sink your borehole in your house, the local government now is coming to tell you that you will pay tax for operating your own borehole.
Look at it, though. Is that not the official 419?
You sank your own borehole in your own compound because the government failed to give you what they're supposed to do. You are now doing it yourself, and they are coming to you now to tell you that you are going to pay or get license to have a borehole in here. You see how wicked these people are.
Vin, please, I have something to add to what Ajani Koko said.
Hola.
Yes, sir.
You know, change the look and see DSS fún.
Go on share DSS. You're not that type of DSS. This one is data strategy services, not.
I question who be this DSS. Make you show your face.
No, not that one. No, I beg you.
Yeah, make you change that name. I mean, you know what DSS represent. Everybody will be DSS.
This one is data strategy services, not.
Write it in full so that everybody will know.
Yes.
Not,
then put DSS near it. I think that is good.
I will do that correction. So,
I beg, change them so that people don't go run away from this platform. Change them now. People are starting even running.
Maybe that's the reason why. That's the reason why one man just swear.
That's the reason why man run away. Let's get one man to death too.
Let's go ahead. Let's go ahead.
So what happened? Just like yesterday, I was having a chat with a friend, and you know, his comment was so shocking. I was just thinking that the guy just came from Nigeria and he's telling me that light is now stable in Nigeria, and I was laughing. Where did this man go? Where did he get his own idea of stability of electricity in Nigeria?
That's how they deceive themselves now, Nigerians. I cannot imagine it that they talk like that. Educated people,
exactly.
You see them talking crazy like that.
I tried to explain something to him. I said, okay, look. I said, when I was at Adegboruwa, I asked that there's one feeder called Papalanto. It's a 33. It used to be a 33 kV feeder, 33 kV to 415. So now I told him that out of 24 hours, that I can guarantee, I can almost guarantee that time that we were going to have light for at least 23 to 23 and a half hours a day. So that means that we will have outing for just 30 minutes in a day. So that was like that. Now, what made me leave that place, for example, was because of traffic. I said, when I move again to Oregon, now that place was not as good as that Agbado side because of that Papaland to 33 kV feeder. Now, but at least around that Oregon, I was getting at least like 5 to 6 days out of 7 days. I said, now a person like me could easily mislead the public that, oh, everything was okay, because I was only speaking to my own with what I felt, not general thing that was happening. So now, if you look at those areas, they were industrial area where the factory industry there could easily bribe the NEPA official, or maybe one of their bosses were living, because there used to be Mr. Ngida Okeke that used to live at around Adini Jones then. That used to be the one at Ikeja that was in charge of was like a general manager for Lagos, you know. So he was living around that place. So it was so easy. You know, it was so easy for that place to be well fed, but yet people believe that everything was okay. So I try to explain. So now, if the idea of why Nigerians are still paying for the services they do not enjoy, honestly, only those people that do that can explain honestly, because they are
just stupid people. I'm sorry. It's just I've never seen that kind of high level of stupidity like Nigerians display in any other part of the world. How can you be paying for services you don't enjoy?
You know, the problem with people is that once they are okay, they have that idea that others should be okay, or maybe others are not doing enough, or all those things. So those are the things that any little comfort like this, we are carried away. We believe that everything is okay. That's why today I'm seeing that, for example, by all standards, a PhD holder, a professor lecturing in the university, you can't say those people are not educated. But you see how these people are behaving, what they are with their input into the crisis in the country. You know, those people, you find something so pathetic that you can't hardly can you explain the system that still hold Nigeria together. Because look at it from this angle. If everybody will not use electricity from these people today, because what's the benefit after all? If everybody, because you are buying gas to run your generator, you are spending on battery to run inverter. At the end of the day, someone will still give you one kind of fraudulent estimated bill. And this thing started under Abacha. You understand? That the thing now is that anybody can now cook estimated bill and keep people, and people will still be queuing to pay for electricity. The thing you are not enjoying. So I don't know, because if people, and these people play upon people that they now come to supply, demand and supply. The supply is so short, and the little supply, everybody want to just grab and go do all this thing, and they keep getting away with all this impunity. So that is one major problem in that country.
It's the people. We have to blame the people for not standing up for them.
I want to add something to what you have said, sir. See, the issue here is this. I have a friend who is staying here with me. There was a time we were arguing about electricity supply in Nigeria, and the boy, he comes from Anambra State. He told me that Anambra State has constant electricity, that he's been calling his people and they've been feeding him, telling him how good the governor has tried and how they are, generating current and so on and so forth.
That's the lie. Governor doesn't generate electricity or supply electricity at all.
Yes, sir. So
it's not state responsibility, it's federal government.
I told him, and when we went to the net, we browsed. I showed him, I said, look, averagely 6 hours of electricity supply generally in Nigeria. And some places it's not even up to 6 hours. Some places it's 2 hours. Is it what you said, electricity? You are here. You are here. You are here for the past 2 years now. Our electricity has never gone off. Here in Ghana, 2 years still counting. And if they want to take the light, or if there is any maintenance work they want to do, they will now inform you. And once the light goes off, within 20 minutes, it's back. And if it is going to be a major, let's say, repair or maintenance, they will now do what they call a power rationing timetable for that particular day. Maybe you will not have in the morning till from 6 to 12, then after 2 they will take it, but within some few, let's say within 1 day, the whole thing is done. And you see people, I can sit here, I switch off my fridge because it has frozen. Everything in there has frozen, which I've never experienced throughout my stay in Nigeria before.
Now, if I may interject, sir, what do you think Nigeria should even do about this electricity?
Look, you see, what I want to tell you now is that we here in Ghana, we use what we call power badges.
Okay.
We have Akosombo. Akosombo is not giving us the more output that we want, but the government decided to invest in power badges. And these power badges now, including the hydro stations, will give us about 10,000 megawatts installed capacity. I don't know if Nigeria has up to 10,000 megawatts installed capacity.
No, if I may even come into that, you see, one thing is this, like, I argue one thing on this forum one day, like I was here arguing with this friend yesterday. You see, if there's anybody, if there are two group of people that have tried to do anything on electricity in Nigeria, was either Shagari and Obasanjo was trying to outdo him when he came in 1990, between 1999 and 2007. But do you know the problem in Nigeria? The problem of Nigerian power situation is this kind of ambiguity. You know, all those. Okay, look at it from this way. If not because of Babangida decrees, the broadcasting station in Nigeria and telecommunication sector in Nigeria will never be liberated. You know, this guy was arguing with me yesterday that it was globalization. I said, what do you mean by globalization? What's your globalization that's not catching up with electricity? And this person I'm telling you is supposed to be those people that are supposed to even know more than all of us, because I'm talking of someone that is well learned. You know, those people that are into social, you know, political sciences.
For you now.
Sorry, my brother. That is why Mazem Nando cannot call them intellectuals.
So if you see the analysis of this thing, there's no big deal in power situation, but we have some people that they've made the policy to come to a focal point whereby they can just be eating money. Okay, an example for example is NNPC. To someone is saying, he was telling me that globalization will catch up. The globalization never is set to catch up with oil and gas sector in Nigeria.
Oil and gas to catch up with electricity. To refine petrol.
Exactly. Now look at this thing now. When APC when they were campaigning, all those guys were campaigning. To be in your fairness, they have a very brilliant. They have a very brilliant programs, that the set of programs that they brought to us. They didn't know that when I listened to Oshiba Jordan, they said they were going to supply electricity off the grid, which was a very brilliant idea. What was that man saying, for example, is this. You look at Ikeja Industrial Estate, for example, maybe you license that one to some kind of a power organization. Now, when you do that, you don't have to feed the national grid. All you just do that, you feed those people around that place, all those industry. There's no all this elaborate thing whereby you send power from Ikeja to maybe to Bida before you now bring it back to Lagos. All those things will be gone. This was the brilliant idea suggested that time. So what simply means that at a stretch, Nigeria could easily give license to like more than 40 companies to establish electricity, to generate, distribute, and sell. But when this guy came, this man
the only thing Nigeria to do now in order to get electricity, the only thing they need to do to get electricity is to unbundle. You see, those what do they call it? The list, exclusive list. Power is one of them. In as much as the government is holding on to power, the monopoly of power, Nigeria will never have no power. It's like a cow that is owned by the whole community. They will say, oh, one man, you attend to feed it today. Max, you attend to feed it today. UK, you attend to feed it tomorrow. This one, you attend to. There are some people that will not feed the cow, and that cow will die of hunger.
The problem is that they've even unbundled. You can unbundle and see.
Can I interject 1 minute?
Okay.
You know, in support of what you said earlier concerning APC agenda. Is somebody speaking?
No.
Oh, the thing is repeating itself. Oh God. Okay. You know what you said about APC agenda for electricity. You know, they promised the nation that every year they will increase our megawatt by 5,000 every year. 5,000 megawatts every year.
Generation capacity
every year. 5,000. So by now, if they had achieved that, we would have
40,000.
Huh?
That would be 40. Let's
So
say
we'll have got
within
30,000.
8 years.
We have got 30,000.
Within 8 years, there will be 40,000.
Yeah, we will have got like 30,000 or 35,000. But where are we now? We are still under 4,000. We are around 4,000. And when they took over from Jonathan, it was around maybe 6,000 or so. It has even gone down.
Oh.
So that's it. Ola, you can continue.
So these guys, they just like the unbundle, but you know the type of bundle they did was like when they spent all effort to privatize Nitel. There was a time they brought Pentasco, they brought different people. You know, the question is this: Yoruba will say something. Say if you want to give a masquerade goat, you release the rope. But what the government is doing this time around is that you are pushing that masquerade to you are pushing that goat to the masquerade, but you are drawing the rope back at the same time so that the goat will not even reach the masquerade, because as you are drawing, you want to kill the goat. Exactly, that's what these people are doing. And the thing is this: I keep talking about how uncompetitive all these government merchants, political merchants around the corridor of power. Once you take that thing away from them, it's like Adenunga, MTN, is it Airtel or Nigeria now? I don't know. I don't even know what they call them. And all these Etisalat. It's like them taking their meal away. Because who knows anything about Nigeria today now? Nobody. Then before it used to be NTA that they will budget fortune to now. Who cares about NTA today? Nobody. So that is exactly what they are doing. That is exactly what they are doing. The same thing, they carry the bureaucracy, for example, to FRA, the Federal Road Safety Commission. You will start wondering that why do you need a federal government to be licensing to be conducting to be giving drivers license in Nigeria? That is why you will see that the safety on the road is not is substandard. It's even below the what is supposed to be the standard. So not until we unbundle it now, like I said, unbundling is one thing. You can unbundle something and you still mess up with it. Not until we restructure this thing and say, okay, look, Lagos, you don't have any business sending your whatever you generate to BIDA or to one kind of Jeba or all those things before you send electricity back. Let every region, all those you say you have Benin zone, you have Lagos zone, you have Ibadan zone, all those kind of you don't need to be sending it into the central, if not because of the rubbish and the stealing they want to do. You understand? That is the type of thing that organization like a Manitoba Hydro, that's what they saw in Nigeria before they backed out. Because this is the thing. You want me to come and generate electricity and supply, but you are saying I can only generate, but I cannot control my sales. You generate and you give it to me, and I will send on your behalf, collect money on your behalf, and pay you. So it means that I won't be able to control my risk.
That's primitive.
Exactly. Lagos State government generated electricity. You said they cannot sell. They can only use that one to service their parastatals. All those their offices. That if they need to participate, all you need to do is that you sell to maybe someone in Jeba first before they can now decide. The government can now decide where they want to distribute all those things to. Imagine you generate electricity and they start using your electricity to supply barracks, to supply like CBN and government, federal government agencies that will never pay your bill. You know, those are the things that is holding us back in that country. Because to generate 100,000 megawatts of electricity in Nigeria under 3 to 5 years is one of the easiest things because we have the market. So those are the solutions that we should be looking at, and the reason we need to go on our restructuring and all those things. Because if we rely on all this current system, honestly, we are not going anywhere. Even in the next 100 years, Nigeria is not moving an inch in that electricity power sector.
Thank you, Ola. Apologies, everyone. I'm having a bit of connection difficulties, which means I probably have to abruptly end the session. I've only just used a different system just to log on, just so I can let you guys know what is going on. So I'm going to have to terminate the session here. Apologies to everyone for that it has gone like that today. But my internet just shut down completely and I've not been able to unravel it. So I'm just really coming on to let you know what's going on. So hopefully by tomorrow I would have resolved it and then we carry on as normal. So apologies to everyone. I don't know how far you have progressed in your conversation, but things like this happen in some instances. So I will reconvene tomorrow. So we'll leave it there. Apologies to everyone.